Welcome to the Church of Thomas. Jesus as I See Him, 6/22/08. This is regarding the painting that I have in the background, and it is an explanation of how I came to the inspiration to create it. I attended a church that had participated in the local Pride Parade every year. This particular year there was a budget dispute in progress. As a result, there was no money allocated to the committee that was to create and manage the float. As a member of this church, I thought it would be a fun challenge to help out. So on a shoestring budget, we set out to represent this congregation with a float. I became a member of the Pride Parade committee that was setting up the float. We arranged for several people with trucks to tow trailers behind to carry participants who had trouble walking. I was going to be driving my truck as the lead vehicle for our contingent. My truck could carry the water and bottles of other drinks and snacks for everybody in the ice chest and keep them cold. I love my truck, but it was not dressed up for the parade. It was a bright white. I decided that it needed to be decorated. I had to think about the decorations so that they would be harmonious with the other trucks. I was going to put streamers and paint a rainbow on the hood of my truck. What stopped me was the disclaimer on the package of the washable, non-staining paint. It said, "Might leave color behind." I was not going to stain my baby. There had to be another way. I asked God to help me. I'm not a gay guy who just gets inspiration walking into a room for decorating ideas. I needed some technical help. I wanted something colorful that would not hurt my truck. In addition, it needed to be something I could afford. That night, I had a dream. In that dream, God showed me what to do. In the dream, I saw Jesus. God asked me who it was. I told God that Jesus was the sword of God. Then I saw flames coming from Jesus' feet. I asked about that. God said, well, like the phoenix, he rises again. When Jesus raised his hands, he held the symbol for infinity. That was really cool. God smiled and asked if that helped. I nodded a lot and was overjoyed. When I awoke the next morning, I went to the craft store to figure out how I could change this dream into something visible. I'm not artistic by nature like my mom. I had a strong feeling that I would need help finding the way. A worker at the craft store seemed very interested in the project. He told me I did not have to use canvas, which was opaque, as my base for the painting. He showed me some flexible plastic that was clear. I asked him how I could paint on it since it had no texture to hold the paint. I also was worried it might rain and ruin the painting before the parade ended. He had a solution for all of my needs and concerns. The painting turned out to be acrylic paint on a clear acrylic sheet. It would be watertight even if it rained, and the paint and base would expand at the same rate so that it wouldn't pop off in the full sunlight. I did not give the painting a background color because I was going to use the white truck as background color. I first made wings to bracket the sword. The sword's hilt echoed the wings above it by being stylized wings as well. The infinity symbol I saw Jesus holding was placed at the tip of the sword. I mixed fiery colors to show the living flame he rose from like a phoenix. Since Jesus was the perfect blend of male and female, I added yin and yang symbols to show its influence of him being in perfect balance. I added the cross, wine, and wafer to symbolize his Last Supper messages. The cross, of course, did not hold a human figure. I showed his ordeal by adding bloody nails and the crown of thorns hovering above the cross. Since the association of male and female is echoed in the metals gold and silver, I added them as indicators in the painting as well. I got some stickers that were letters because my handwriting is not very neat. I used the letters to write out the motto of the painting, and this motto is "Born to Rise Again." At that point, it seemed finished and ready to decorate my truck. I was very happy with the results. It seemed very fitting to be leading this contingent in the parade. The parade was wonderful. It was a very special day as it turned out. It was the day we heard about the Supreme Court ruling about the unconstitutionality of the sodomy laws. This set of laws had been used to persecute gays, lesbians, and transgenders for years. It never seemed to be used to prosecute straight folks who happen to be doing the same things at home. This Supreme Court ruling had huge ripples across the country. The parade was bursting with joy and overflowing with enthusiasm as we drove along. At the end of the parade route, we had to dismantle the decorations and get things back to the church that had been on loan for the parade. When we were done, some of the committee wanted to continue the celebration. I don't go to bars much. The smoke does a number on my lungs. I'm often sick for several days after I go out. So after we cleaned up back at the church, I was still filled with energy, but resisted the temptation to go out with everybody. I hugged everybody good night and went home. I'm very glad I did. When I got home, I was antsy and could not settle down. The energy and joy of the parade still vibrated inside of me. I needed to find a way to use all of that creativity that was welling up inside of me. When the painting came off of the hood of my truck, it didn't look the same anymore. It looked unfinished, incomplete. What seemed perfect for the parade looked washed out and pale up in my apartment. I used all of that energy that I had and the rest of the night to change that. I felt that the clear acrylic needed to be more fitting background for the Son of God. It needed a royal color that spoke of his nobility. After mixing silver and purple, I found the right blend and look. I added the swirling purple background to the backing of the acrylic sheet. The color of the wine was all wrong as well. I changed the color of the wine. The wine Jesus drank was not the filtered clear liquid that we think of as wine today. The wine he drank had body. It had sediment. It was cloudy. When I stepped back to check what it needed, I noticed something else. I looked at the wings and felt that they didn't look right. They needed something. They were lifeless and dead. Jesus' wings in the dream shone like the sun. They glittered and radiated light. When I finally figured out how to make this, it was wonderful. The wings shine from most angles when you look at the painting. That is how the painting came into being. I hope you see Jesus in it as well. God bless the whole world. No exceptions. Angel Eliza.